Can you put the exam question into the Google Classroom?
Yes, I will. I'm not only am I printing for all of you, you will get a copy of the trial exam question on Google Classroom as well. All right. Now we're going to start. Rowan. All right. Let's start off with. Let's quickly have a look at what I want to do today. Main thing is, I want you to be able to really use the financial function of Classpad to solve compound interest problems. This is important. If you could really use this, it will make life so much easier for certain type of questions. You don't have to worry too much about sequences, because in the exam, unless you are specifically asked to use sequence, use the financial function, it's a little bit easier. All right, it's not as intuitive to use, but you will learn how to do it. Then the next thing is understand the difference between nominal interest rate, which is what we see all the time, and the effective interest rate, and be able to calculate effective interest rate. I think the formula for effective interest rate is on the yes, the formula of effective interest rate is actually on the formula sheet. So you have the simple interest rate, simple interest formula, you've got compound interest formula, and you also have effective annual rate of interest. So that's what we are learning. So that is all the formulas that you're going to get for your exam. All right, now let's recap. You know that interest is calculated as a percentage of the principal. The interest is added to the principal for the subsequent period, and this amount is used as the principal, compound interest. And I talk about A equals to P times 1 plus R over N divided by NT. N is the number of compounding periods a year. So if it is compounding half yearly, N will be 2. Compounding quarterly, N will be 4. Compounding daily, N will be 365, and then so on and so forth. All right? So you got to think about how you could use your compound interest. Here, what we are going to do is start thinking about using your Classpad. So grab a Classpad. Have you got a Classpad, Tom?
Yep.
All right. Grab a Classpad up, please. This time, we are going to look at the Classpad financial function. All right? So start off with your Classpad. Let's go for the principal. Classpad financial. And there are two ways of getting to financial function. Either use financial compound interest or go to Calc 1 compound interest. Either way is fine. All right? So I want you all to get to that bit first, then I'm going to explain every single box that you need to know. All right? You should have, got up, hang on, quick, start your Classpad, please. I want all of you to get up to the point where, yep, you've got, can I hold this, please? Thanks. You've got this. These are the boxes that I want to explain. You need to get up to that point before I do any explanation. All right? So you need to get up to, like I said, either this or that. The word or is that. Either from financial compound interest or Calc 1 compound interest. All right? You can see there are a lot of functions in there. But we can do simple interest if we want to, but I think compound interest is the important one. All right. Here, once you get up to there, what I would like all of you to do is to start looking at what I've written as in the formula of compound interest and how it is related to all this. All right. You are asked to put in number of time periods, interest rate. Now, make sure there's interest rate in percent. So it's 5%, it's 5, not 0.05. It's in percent. All right? PV is present value or the principal. Now, you have to enter it as a negative number. All right? This is the quirkiness of a Classpad. So what is the, it assume is because if this is a compound interest, if you are putting money in a bank to earn interest, you don't have the money. So you're giving the money, the bank the money. So therefore it's negative. Think about it that way. And the amount paid each period, which is coming back to you. Or you can think about this, because you're borrowing the money, it's not your money, therefore it's negative. All right? Amount paid each period, which is either you pay into the bank or the bank pays you. All right? As investment will be the bank pays you. Future value will be the final amount or A of FV is future value of final amount, which is A. Now, PY and CY, we do not change at all because here, unless otherwise stated, you will come later in the course, we will talk about the difference between PY and CY. But at this stage, PY and CY is actually number of compounding period per year, which is N, which is the same as PY, number of installment per year. All right. Now, the reason eventually that you may change the number of compounding period and number of installment per year is the interest could be charged at quarterly, but you are paying back monthly. All right, that's the time that you have to change. All right, but that's not, that will be a situation when you'll be specifically asked to do that. But here, for this stage, when we do compound interest, we need to know N is NT, which is that here, N times T. So if the if N is 1 which is compounded annually, this is whatever year it is. All right. If it is compounded, let's say half yearly, and the period of the loan is 10 years, there will be 20. That is interest rate in percent. Principal enters negative. Amount paid each. Period, future value, and so on and so forth. All right. Here, CY is just the N. So you know how you could associate that with this. All right. So can you all take some time to write it down, please, if you haven't taken it down. You need that. You really do need that. Get used to that. Classpad is not intuitive. All right. In the exam, when you answer question, sometimes when you answer question, all you need to do is to write down N equals to something, I equals to something, PV equals to something, PMT equals to something, FV equals to something, PY and CY. You need to list this, something like this, out in the exam, so that the markers actually know that you are using your calculator properly. All right, and if you made a mistake, we know where you made a mistake. All right, write this down. It's important. How you associate each box. Once you've done that, we'll start learning how to use it. So this C here means number of compounding period per year. Right? Have you all got it? Or getting there? Can I move on now? Not yet. Okay, let's go. All right, now, you got example 1 in front of you. 25000 is invested for 4 years with an annual compound interest rate of 6%. Find the value of the investment at the end of the 4 years if the compounding occurs annually, quarterly, or daily. All right? I will do it with you. All right. Now, because we are looking at the end, we are not paying anything yet. So in this case, PMT is actually 0. All right? So you know the present value is minus 2500. I is 6%, N is 4. We are looking for the future value. All right, let me get my Classpad out. So under financial, I go to compound interest. Of course, what I do is I clear all first. Make sure that you clear all. You go to compound interest. And what did I say? N was at the end of 4 years. We know NT is 1. That is 6%. Present value is minus 25,000. PMT is 0. And future value is we don't know. Alright? So what we want is know the future value. So this time we know the compounding period is 1. What you do is tap on FV. And you got the answer. The future value is 31,561.92. 2 decimal places, please. Not more than 2 decimal places. And also remember your dollar sign. Now what if you don't put in the minus 2500? You just put down 25000. Alright? Tap on future value, it becomes negative. That's all. So if you forget the negative value, if you don't forget the negative, just remember the future value will be negative. That's it. It really doesn't matter. I would prefer you remember what I said. Put down as minus 25000 and tap on every future value. Next one, quarterly. Quarterly, we know that the compounding period now is 4. So you need to change the PY into 4. And this time is 4 times 4 because it's 16. If you want to, you can actually just write down 4 times 4. That's fine. The calculator will work it out for you. No change in interest rate, no change in present value. You don't pay back anything, you just need to tap on every. It's 31724.664. Can you try the last one, please? Example 1, the last one. All right, try the last one, please. This time, yep.
Why are both PY and CY 4?
Because the compounding period is 4, it's quarterly now. It's part B, it's quarterly.
Okay.
All right, so the next one, it will be all right, that would be 4 times 365. You don't have to work out 4 times 365. You can just use your calculator, just put it down as 4 times 365, NT. Yeah? Makes it a little bit sort of easy in terms of using that, and then tap on FV. You got a future value 31780.6019 or 31780.60. Alright? So that is how you use your Classpad. Now of course sometimes you've got question where you have been given the future value and you've got to find what the present value is. Same thing, if you don't know what the present value is, you know the future value. Let's say the future value is 35,000, and then it's compounded 6% 6% per annum compound interest rate, but compounded daily. So what you need to do is tap on PV. You get the present value. That's it. Yeah.
So for all the questions we're doing now, PY and CY will remain the same?
Yep. At this stage, PY and CY. There will be only one particular question that you will have to change PY and CY.
For the upcoming tests, it will be the
Mm,
same? Not necessarily.
don't know whether I'll get up to that point yet. I will plan it over the school holiday. All right. At this stage, don't worry about the PY and CY yet. All right. So I'm planning over the school holiday. All right. Next one. This is what I've done. Quarterly. You should have done the same thing as well. And then daily. Right? Are you happy with what you've done so far with example 1? All right. Let's have a look at then example 2. Can you try that? So you need to think about how many years now. All right? How would you input in that information? We have done this. Yeah. 8% annual compound interest rate. Use your Classpad. So you know R in the Classpad is actually I, right? So I is 8%, put in 8. Compounded every 6 months, so N is 2. You know one of them is 2500 and the PV is 2500, PMT is 0, and then the future value is 3700. One is minus, present value is minus 2500. So what did you get? About 9.9 years,
Yes.
but
It's 10 years.
10 years. Divided by 2, that's right. You're going to divide by 2 because the CY is 2. So you need to divide 9.99 divided by 2, which is approximately 5 years. Alright? It is 5 years. You have to say it will take it will take 5 years for the investment to grow to 3700. Alright?
Why?
Because it's 6 monthly. It's compounded it's compounded every 6 months. So there is now N is this is NT. Remember there's NT?
Yeah.
So N is this is N. NT is 10, and therefore T is 10 divided by N, which is 10 divided by 2, which is 5 years. That is the number of periods. Go back, let's go back, let's go back, let's go back. Go back here. That is number of time periods.
Yeah.
So number of time periods is 10 years. 10 periods. Each period is 6 months.
Okay.
Got it? Yeah?
Okay.
Everyone happy with that? Yeah? Alright, very good. So now, what I'm going to do is look at effective interest rate, which is the last bit I want to teach all of you. You know that when we have worked on the compound interest rate, alright? The 3 different things, the annual, the quarterly and daily, you know that the final value is different. Alright? If it is compounded annually, this is the after 4 years, this is 31561.92. This is 31724.64, and this one is 31789.60. Alright? So what we're looking at is calculate the effective interest rate. So what we do is we normally get the nominal or the stated annual rate of interest. In the question, we are normally given the nominal or stated annual rate of interest. So it's 6% per annum. And then you're told about the compounding period, whether it's compounded 6 monthly or compounding fortnightly or compounding whatever, all right, whatever period. So now we can observe that the nominal or the stated interest rate of 6% applied over different compounding periods does not give the same results. It is obvious that the equivalent annual rate being applied is in the example is more than nominal 6%. All right? It's actually more than 6% because we are doing compound interest. All right? Look at that. It's definitely more than 6%, especially we're looking quarterly and daily. All right? Annually is 6% because it is what we're looking at. So what we need to do is work out the effective annual interest rate, which is equivalent interest rate. All right? That is what we need to do. And the formula for that is this. Effective interest rate, or I effective, that's given in your formula sheet, is actually equals to 1 plus the interest rate divided by n to the power of n minus 1, where I is the nominal annual interest rate written as decimal, and n is the number of compounding period. So you can see that from that example, for annual, the I effective, of course, it is the same because it's compounded 6% annually. However, in terms of quarterly, you have to actually divide it by 4 first, in fact, divide the interest rate by 4 first, and then bring it to the power of 4 and take away 1. So what happened is, we are looking at 1 year. All right? This is, if you look at 1 year, we have split that into 4 quarters. Correct? 1 year split that into 4 quarters. The interest rate per quarters will then be 0.06 divided by 4. Correct? Yeah? And then you multiply 4 times. Alright? Or basically what you do is you got the principal here. The principal. After the first period is the principal times 1 plus 0.06 divided by 4. Alright? The second one will be this times 1 plus 0.06 divided by 4, and so on and so forth. Therefore, this is where it comes in. Alright, this is how it comes in. And 365 days is the same. You can see that this is what we call it as the effective interest rate. You'll be expected to be able to calculate that. Alright, let's try an example, please. You're asked to calculate the interest earned using a recurrence relation. Then calculate the effective interest rate on this investment as a percentage rounded to 4 decimal places. Calculate the interest rate earned on this investment using your calculated effective annual interest rate, and compare your answer to A and C. So let's start off with working on A first. Alright? Think about A. How would you do it as a recurrence relation? How do you write it as a recurrence relation? Can you remember? Alright. So, if you think about it, what we would do is we start off with writing something like this would be T0. Correct? Yeah? On the principal. And this is the principal. And then interest rate I That's I or R. It depends on whether you're using the calculator. And T is 5. Alright, compounded monthly. Compounded monthly. So N equals to 12. So now let's work out the monthly interest. The monthly interest is 0.096 divided by 12. Alright? I am not working out the decimal places. I'm just going to leave it like this because your calculator can take it. So therefore, Tn plus 1 equals to 1 plus 0.096 over 12 times Tn, and T0 equals to 10,000. So we think about the starting, and then at the end of the first month, which is T1, is whatever multiplied by 1 plus 0.096. Now, we know that N equals to 12, so NT will be 12 times 5 years, which is 60. Alright? Now, let's input this into your calculator, Classpad. Let me write it down so that I can remember. Tn plus 1 equals to 1 plus 0.096 divided by 12 plus times Tn. T0 equals to 10,000. Alright? Let's grab your calculator. Grab your Classpad. Under your Classpad, I want to go to sequences. Alright? What I would do is clear all. Clear all. We also know that the type is A0. Alright? Because we have got the initial. Let's put this in. Alright. This one, AN plus 1 will be, watch please. I will put a bracket in 1 plus, use your keyboard and put in 0.096 divided by 12 times AN. Alright? Don't worry about working it out as a decimal. Just put it in as a fraction. And then A0 is 10,000. Alright? So, tap on that. Remember, always do this. Although 96 can be divided by 12, I will just leave it as a fraction. Because there will be situation that you cannot have a whole number and you need the exact number to work on that. Alright? Then tap on that. You know you need to go up to 60. Yeah, 60 because it's 12. It's monthly. 12 times 5 is 60. You've got to tap on that. Alright? So T60, if you use your Classpad, T60 equals to 16129. T60 equals 16129.90935. Alright? Let's do that. And when we answer the question, make sure that you know there's a few decimal places. Go back to my class. Alright, so therefore T60 equals to 1, 6, 169.90935. So therefore, Therefore, the final value equals to 16129.91. And then the interest, read the question carefully, interest earned will then be 6129.91. Now, I can guarantee you a lot of students will have forgotten to calculate the interest. Guarantee will be about 50% who will just answer and give me the A. Alright? So you got to be careful. So now you need to work out what is the effective interest rate. Alright? So we know that I effective equals to 1 plus I over n, take away 1, which is 1 plus 0.096 divided by 12 to the power of 12 minus 1, which is 0.10033,869.37. Alright, you want the question to two decimal places, so therefore I effective equals to 10.033 339%. Alright? So now calculate the interest earned on the investment used or calculate the effective interest rate. So part C, alright? We know that the effective interest rate, that this time the effective interest rate is annual. So I effective equals to 10.0339% effective. This is effective. So this time, what we do is Tn plus 1 is T, oh sorry, I shouldn't use Tn first, I should, this matter is, alright, Tn 1.0 1 plus 0.10033869 or 339, that's fine. Tn, Tn. T0 equals to 10,000. Alright, let's write this down before I forget. So that is per annum. The effective interest rate is per annum. So Tn plus 1 now equals to Tn 1 plus 0.10033,869. I don't know why I have the 0.37 here. I think it's 37. And T naught equals to 10,000. Now this time, because effective interest rate is annual, here N is 1. We are using effective interest rate. We are not using the stated interest rate. So therefore, when we go into our Classpad, this time we can just put down 1 plus 0.100833869 and tap on that. So effective interest rate is annual as well. So go this time, all you need is go up to 5. 16166. Alright? 16166. Unless I've typed that incorrectly, I think I might have. It's 16166.2359998. I'm checking my own answer, that's all. No, however, I've got something wrong because it's the 8 shouldn't be there. Alright, that's better. Something's wrong. So it's 16129.909. My fault. I typed an extra 8. So it is the same. 16129.9091, which is 16129.91. Alright, so the effective interest rate actually gives you the same thing. Effective interest rate is the annual interest rate as well. So because we have taken out the n, all right? Because we have taken out the n, which is this bit here. The n has been accounted for. All right, the n has been accounted for in the effective interest rate. So now we need to write down is T5 is therefore 16129.91. So part D, compare and comment. So both answers should be the same. The difference is due to rounding error, all right? Rounding error of the effective of I effective. That's all. Basically, you can see that the first, this we came out as 16129.00. This is 16129.91. It's because we actually have to round this number. It's hard if we do not round this number. We have to round this number, even though I was using quite a lot of decimal places, but it goes on and on and on. So therefore, either approach is all right to find the final, your final amount after 5 years. Use monthly interest, you got to multiply by 5. If you use effective interest in based on is annual interest. So if you use effective interest, you got to do it that way. All right. So I'm going to finish off here. I will have time for you to ask me questions tomorrow. Do more questions. Do some on effective interest rate. And you know the exercises are there. And then I'll be here to answer questions.